Hello, it is the 28th of January, a Sunday. That means we're going to be working on salvaging yet another empire today, and it's going to be a fun one. It's currently the year 2420, 5 months in, as well as 13 days, and we have ourselves, like I mentioned, a Hivemind in front of us. Now, this was sent over by Pop Rock Productions through a WeTransfer file, as is tradition. If you want to have your game featured, feel free to put a WeTransfer file below in the comments, and I may take a look at it and see what we can do. Regardless, but all that stuff out of the way, we're going to go and talk about the Hivemind of Serenity. Now, first of all, the Hivemind has, it's okay. It has a little bit some issues in terms of mineral and energy production. Its influence is okay. It's a Hivemind, which means it's not really doing all that much. We could even crank that up because we're in a federation, so if we would leave that, we would get even more resources. Unity production is incredibly low for an empire of this size, which is kind of worrying. So we're going to be taking a look at that. We have enhanced solar power, which is a +5 energy credits bonus. I believe we can get that from researching flagella. I'm not entirely sure. We got a singularity processor, which is a item from Leviathans you get from the Infinity Machine. That means that Gargantua is in fact here. Apparently we hacked into it. Sadly, we did not get the tiny universe bonus on top of that. And finally, we are just a standard Hivemind. We are not devourers or anything like that. No, we are just ye old run-of-the-mill Hivemind species. Civics, core sector systems +2. It's okay. Subsumed will, monthly influence +1, a must-have for Hivemind due to their lack of factions and therefore a high-level influence production. And subspace ephas, or ephapsy. Ephapes. Anyway, it gives us +15% naval capacity, which is kind of nice. So, let's take a look at our empire and what the main issues are. We got a time project. There's some debris floating around. Our energy storage is full. We got a lot of energy and minerals, which is nice. We are currently missing a scientist. We'll take a look at that. One of our rivals has ended their rivalry, and our spaceport has finished construction. So, at first glance, what is wrong here? Well, we are producing 373 food a month, which is ridiculous, as our population growth will increase by 200%, which is staggering, and we don't really want that. Also, our science production is incredibly low for what we have. Also, our fleet cap is really low, and that has mostly to do with that whole Federation stuff. Also, there's the Hive. So that's over here. They are currently in the process of consuming the galaxy, as is tradition with the Hive. And today we're going to be learning at something along the lines of putting your entire empire in full-scale anti-Scourge production to push them back into the void and make sure that they don't cause a problem. Now, thankfully, they are relatively far away. Let's take a quick look here at our diplomatic borders. We're over here in the south. We've stretched all the way from down here all the way into here, blah-de-blah. Apparently, we've taken over a bunch of Fallen Empire worlds early on, which is nice. So we got Brother, Mother, and the Preserve. So that's just from these Kemplar Arbitrators, which is an Awakened Empire. So this player, Pop Rock Productions already managed to push back a Fallen Empire, which by itself is a pretty difficult thing to do. However, the Scourge, on the other hand, are one of those things that will very rapidly try to expand and pretty much consume everything in their way. So I figured out which one we can tag into, because in order to destroy our enemy, we must understand the enemy, but also we must understand thyself. Thank you, Sun Tzu, for bringing us that knowledge. Let's quickly tag into the Scourge. Ignore all this garbage. It's not really important. The Scourge is not really playable as per se, so we're not going to take a look at that. Anyway, they have currently 36 worlds. 36 worlds that are basically just cranking out ships and being hives, etc. Quite a lot of resources. They're not doing anything with them, which is fine. But let's take a look at what we have available to us. Yes, I know that tagging into them is technically cheating, but I just want to illustrate something here which will allow us to better understand our situation and what we need to do to come out on top. So, let's take a look at the enemy ship. So we're going to take a look at this Star Brood here. Broodmother, Praetorian Swarmer. So, first of all, the Praetorian Scourge will always have warp drive. How this is going to work in Cherry, I'm not entirely sure, because the entire game is going to cater to hyperdrive, but warp drive is their thing. They do not have any combat computers, because they're fully organic. Not that that really applies to us, but most importantly, they are incredibly armor focused. They have a decent amount of armor, large neutronium armor, as well as regenerative hull tissue, and most of their weapons are focused on destroying armor or completely bypassing armor at all. They're also very much focused on the joys of missiles. So let's take a look here. So they have their basic weapons, which is their Swarm Strikers, which is basically a type of Strikecraft. It ignores 66% of armor plus 100% shield penetration. These should never be an issue to counter. If we build our fleet properly, we will have so much flak and point defense that they will never get in range and become a problem. The real issue is these acid blasts. Now, they ignore 15% of armor and do a significant reduction in shield damage, which means that our fleet should be catered to A, having a lot of shields, B, having a lot of flak, and C, massive armor penetration in order to counter them. If we have a fleet that is, say, 75 and we encounter one of their 150 or 128 stacks, we should be able to defeat them quite easily. However, sadly, if we tag back into our normal empire, this is not going to be the case, because if we take a look at our ship designer, we are all over the shop. We got lasers. They ignore 50% of armor, which is okay, as well as disruptors. But disruptors only does 200% shield damage, which is not going to be very useful to us. So we're going to put a plasma thrower on here. Plasma throwers ignore 60% of armor, but they don't do a lot of shield damage. Not that we need that, because the Praetorian Scourge do not use shields at all. Sadly, this is tier 1, and I will delve a little bit deeper into that later on. Also, we want to put jump drive on this. Actually, we want to max all of this stuff out. Okay, let's take a look here. Armor we do not need at all, so let's quickly take a look at what we can do here. Some more shields. Shield regeneration would be nice, but yeah, this is going to be our destroyer here. We're going to also design a new destroyer, which is going to be a picket design. A lot of point defense on here just to counter all that stuff. I'm going to put lasers on here because they're the best weapons that we have. I'm going to strip all the armor off. There we go. Put some shields on that bad boy. That's not going to work. There we go. Maybe some regenerative armor. No, we don't need that. So this is going to be our screen. The problem is that this save file... In this save file, I have not gotten flak weapons yet, and we're going to need those in order to survive the oncoming battle. Cruiser design, it's all medium Gauss, ignores 50% of armor, shield damage is significantly reduced, so it's not really an issue. We can rock this because the plasma weapons that we have are not powerful enough yet to do anything with. We're going to strip all the armor off. Armor is not going to be useful to us at all. So let's there we go. Steel blade. I like that. I like that design, that name. So very much shield focused here. Okay, we may want to build another cruiser design here. Also, the Praetorian Scourge has very limited weapons in terms of when it comes to the wonders of point defense. They don't have a lot of that, which means that we could go heavy missiles, but this save file also does not have a lot of missile slots on it, so that's kind of annoying. We're gonna go mostly mediums here. Put some more guardians on here, maybe some advanced fighters, because the fighters will counter enemy strikecraft quite nicely. Bomber wings, they ignore 50% of armor, which is rather good. And yeah, the amount of damage that this does is just so limited. We can actually put a kinetic battery on here just to make it look a little bit sillier. Let's strip the armor off. Let's put another hyper shield on here if we can. Yes, we can. Regenerative hull tissue, we could do that. Maybe another hyper shields in there. The good thing about shields is that unlike some of the other things in the game. Actually, if I do this, does that help? No, it most definitely does not. We'll readdress this once we have proper plasma weapons to counter Scourge. So, Scourge mainline. Main Leone, apparently. So there we go. And now let's take a look at our battleship design. So we got our steel blade, and okay, we're not gonna really mess around with some of these other designs here. Battleship, we got 2 designs. See, this is an interesting idea, right? So we got giga cannons, ignores 50% of armor, minus 67% shield damage, which is fine. However, we have Tachyon Lances. Tachyon Lances ignores 90% of armor. If you have enough of these, they will annihilate any Scourge on the field. Overall, this is not a bad design at all. Ignores 50% of armor. I am going to add fighter wings in here instead. Strip off all the armor. And put some more shields on there. Maybe one more. Sadly not the case. What if I do this? Not gonna help. Okay, so hull tissue regeneration is all fine. If we can find something like the enigmatic fortress, we would be in a much better position because enigmatic technology does allow us to do a lot more. And then this design, this is fine. We're just gonna put Tachyon Lance in. This is your standard super long range fleet buster, really. And it should allow, wow, that is a lot of energy that is basically lost. But we do need the shields here. So, okay, so that's done. Kind of somewhat optimized our fleet design against Praetorian Scourge. So our primary fleet, we can upgrade this. 12,000 minerals, that's how much that's going to cost. We have the resources for that, but I'm gonna wait for it a little while. Oh my god, this Admiral is garbage. He's a level 5, sure. He's got aggressive, unyielding, but lethargic. Evasion -5. This is not good for any of our smaller ship designs. Also, we are going to set this as the rally point. We have a domesticated Praetorian Queen somehow. We're gonna park her really far away. Somewhere that it's not gonna be an issue. So we're just gonna move you somewhere else. And we're gonna merge all of our ships together. For some reason we cannot at the moment, because some of the FTL drives are not up to date. But let's take a look at our planetary setup. So, surface on our capital looks okay. We don't need a military academy, so we'll put a galactic stock exchange in there. And mention what I said about food, that we had way too much of it. Well, we were producing, because of the tile bonuses here, we were producing 13 food and 5 minerals, which is fine. But I'd rather go for a mining network upgrade on this one and just replace all that stuff, because minerals is something that we're very much needing at the moment. Do we have any other buildings that we can replace? Let's see. Okay, let's replace this with a mineral processing plant. You kind of want to build mineral processing plants as soon as you have 3 mines on your planet for optimizing your setup. Let's take a look here at our species. Like, oh, rapid breathers. We need to get rid of that. Intelligent, natural engineers, thrifty. Okay, let's replace rapid breeders with miners. I think that will be a good solution there. I'm actually missing a couple of things here. Let me quickly check. Artisan troop. We can commission an art piece. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so our empire did not have any art monuments. That is a problem, because we're going to need to put those in, because like I mentioned, our Unity production is garbage. It takes 48 months to do anything. And while we're here, let's take a look at our tradition. Prosperity is okay. Adaptability for Hivemind, I guess, works fine because of the additional points that we're going to get. Terraforming, blah, 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 not really an issue. Supremacy is good. Expansion makes sense. The lack of discovery is a problem. Synchronicity is also pretty good because of Bulwark of Harmony and Hive Synapse. Hive Synapse is a unique building to Hivemind. Domination we don't really need, and we've got Technological Ascendancy in the Stellar Dominion. Galactic Contender, because we fought off that that Empire earlier. Galactic Wonders. Science Nexus is good. Sentry Array is good. Galactic force projection, naval capacity plus 200%, I guess is fine. Let's take a look here at edicts. Grand Fleet, let's enable that. Make sure that we have all of that stuff going. How much unity are we, how much influence are we losing to? Yeah, we're losing 2 from being in a federation. That's potentially an issue. They have a decent... Wow, that is a lot of ships. Okay, then. Well, 234. 6 armies. What are the fleets like? The second bouquet. Oh, dear lord. Okay. Yeah, I think the second bouquet is just about to lose all of their ships. Let's take a look at our fleet designs. It's plasma. That's good. Face Disruptors is kind of garbage against Praetorian, but that's the AI doing automatic swarmer missiles is pretty good against Praetorian as well. I don't think that this fleet's going to last very long. Not when there is... Whew, that is over 350,000 fleet power there. So let's keep on pausing the game for the moment, and I will take a look at some of our other stuff that we have available. So, we've got all of those amazing 5 unity structures that we can build. And let's tile over you. Yes. Do we have any growth buildings anywhere? I don't see anything. Okay, so this is relatively efficient. So there's 4 energy plants here, plus a energy nexus. That makes sense. Let's put a art monument on this. Energy nexus, enough power plants. Ah, okay, so we got cyto revitalization centers. So what they do is they actually increase the population growth on the planet. And considering we're already getting a bonus of population growth plus 20%, this is not going to be all that useful. So we're going to replace this with an art monument. And you we're going to replace with a energy building. These adjacency... Oh, no. Why did you build a hypercomps forums there? Not the best idea, buddy. Okay. Okay, so that's 1. This planetary capital placement is a bit rough. What would be a better position here? No, that would not improve things all that much. I'm gonna replace this with... How many energy buildings do we have here? Enough, really. Oh, we don't have an energy grid on planet either. Okay, so let's replace this with a power plant. And this shield generator, it can go. So let's build a art monument on top of that. Okay, so... Because of the way the adjacency bonuses work, having any building that does not generate either minerals, food, or energy next to your capital building is generally not a very good idea. So we're going to replace this. Oh my god, there's no Akaton memorials here? Oh dear. Okay. Well, let's replace you then with a power plant. You are going to be a autochthon memorial. Oh my god, this... There's no reason to have this mineral processing plant here. There's no mineral bonuses. There's only 1 mine on the planet. So having just 1 is just not practical. We're going to replace this with yet another power plant. Food-wise, we're going to replace this with another power plant. Power is always good because we can always trade it for minerals. And this one, we're just going to replace with an art monument. I don't really care. Cyto revitalization plant. Replace it. Minerals, this is almost too close to not... Oh god. Oh dear. Well. This planet, Like, we're not getting anything out of these bonuses here. What am I proposing this? Akaton Memorial? Okay, let's cancel that. Let's destroy this one. Let's destroy this one. Let's rebuild a planetary administration here. Akaton Memorial here. And you're going to be replaced with... can I... Oh, wait. Because we destroyed the Capitol building, we can't just build anything with there anymore. But whatever. Large planet, size 25. It's pretty decent. Okay, we don't have any more art monuments. That's fine. You, science, minerals, that's fine. Let's build... How much energy we have here? a decent amount. So let's just build more energy if we can. Gonna need that anyway. Okay, so do we have... Okay, so this is okay. We can work with this. Basically what we're doing at the moment is we're completely streamlining this entire core. Okay, this is fine. We can work with that. Brother, yeah, that's all fine. That's a cloning vats. This planet does not... Okay. Oh, good lord, the planetary capital is in there. Let's replace you then with a science lab. Do we have any weird buildings anywhere? No. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward from here onwards until I've taken a good look at all the infrastructure within our empire and actually getting our Unity production underway. I don't really care about the Scourge at the moment. What I am going to do, however, is taking a look at this mess. If they lose this battle really handily, which they will, I will most likely leave the Federation as soon as I can. Oh, good lord. As another 300,000 fleet power jumps in. This is, yeah, highly unfortunate. I also just realized something else. Let me quickly talk to the artisan troop. Let's become their patron. 5,000 energy. Yeah, that's good. That's fine. And let's do the same thing with the curators as well, because our technology is really behind. So we just spent 10,000 energy on that. Oh my god, the fleets just keep on jumping in. Let's just speed things up here a little bit. Oh, wow. That... Oh, wow. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Yeah. That looks like a you problem over there. Yeah, I'm not going to send my fleet in there. And that's our Alliance fleet that's going to die. 53 battle... What kind of battleships are these even? Yeah, see, the problem is there's no point defense on any of this. So all of these strike craft are just wreaking havoc. Like, there's some point defense there, but not a lot. And that's the Scourge. Like, they're mostly point defense and missiles. And if you have, at least, not point defense, they're mostly strike craft and missiles. Yeah, they just destroyed an entire capital line of 58 battleships. Just like that. Like it was nothing. Okay, I don't want to do a trade. Okay, Curator Insight, Patron of the Arts, whatever. We also need to set up this.
We are one.
I should really turn that off. That is... Phew. Man, this is... That is a lot of Scourge. Not gonna lie. At least they're not, like, crazy stacks. This is like a 1.0 crisis strength safe game. Yeah, they're being annihilated. Those battleships are just absolute toast. And this is the power of Strikecraft, really. And this is what we need to counter in order to get around us. Anyway, with that fight done, and our Alliance having lost pretty much most of their ships, we're gonna go and upgrade our fleet, our infrastructure a little bit. The border between the Scourge is still decently far away. I'm not really too concerned about that right now. Well, we'll push them back. We just need to completely streamline our economy and basically get ready for war and get rid of all this food production over here. Increase our unity and get more energy on board. Anyway, I'm going to fast forward here. We'll be right back. Alright, so I just spent the last 10 minutes pretty much adding observatories and solar panels to pretty much every single world that I could find. So those are currently building. Mostly building some gestation chambers in some of the on some of the planets that didn't have them. At least our primary worlds. The war is not going well for our allies. Let's put it that way. There are giant clusters of stuff floating around, which is definitely not helping. Let's take a look here. What we have. Void Cloud. Let's do all of these. These are all just sitting by. They're not doing anything. Improbable Ceramics is actually a really good source of Scourge missiles, Swarm Strikers, Asteroid Defense. Repair Automated Shipyard. We can get ships out of that. Giant ships. Crystal Codex. Interesting. Giant Skeleton. Let's actually send, if our scientists are good enough. Yeah, most of them are just really garbage level 1 scientists. These are not that great. We could do some min-maxing here. Yeah, this one. What is it again? It's material production, right? Yeah. So let's just put this guy on there. He's probably a little bit better suited for that. Yeah, we've basically streamlined our economy a little bit, replacing God knows how many gestation chambers, and replaced them with autochthon memorials because we were missing those everywhere. Oh, we just got 3 events. They will not stand in our way, and let's do the remote amoeba stuff because that will allow us to... Yeah, all this stuff is now just coming out of the cooker. That's a lot of spaceport stuff that is now done. I also took a look at the Alliance. It is huge. It is it is genuinely massive. Are we the strongest? I don't know. I don't think we are. There's a lot of species around us. Okay, so asteroid impacts are no longer a problem on some of these worlds, so that's good. Frequency tuning, which we don't really need. What is this world? It's a size 14 tomb world. It's a little bit meh. Following the first Nautilus squadron. Let's encourage all the enemies to follow us. Okay, so crystalline entity. Our situation log is updated. They probably no longer exist anymore. Crystalline entity observation, space amoeba. I think that should increase our sublight speeds. We have found an anomaly. And these guys have decided to declare a rivalry. 20%. There's a bunch of space here, probably in the former Fallen Empire space that we haven't really surveyed. Oh my God. Crystal sonar, it's terrible. And a cosmic ray catalyst gives us a plus 5% energy. And this is why you should always do the starter events for researching neutral space aliens. They do not have a lot of use, but the use they have is pretty amazing. Alright, so we got a bunch of construction ships. Are they now equipped with jump drive? Good. That means they can get in places really quickly. Start mining all of these things that are just still sitting around, not doing anything. 241. What can we get? It doesn't really matter. Let's survey stuff wherever we can. Get some. Get some. Because we're Hiveminds, I think our leaders are effectively immortal. I'm not entirely sure if that is the case. I haven't played with Hiveminds all that much. There's a. Oh, this is our ring world. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so our ring world is in a bit of a precarious location. And we've got these, this is my, is this my ally? Yeah, okay, nuclear devastation, what a waste. Okay, we got a bunch of science out of that. And basically, we're just in the process of completely rebuilding our economy and trying to get something properly done here. So we have more than enough minerals. Our fleet is currently upgrading. What I'm expecting here is that we're actually going to lose some fleet power. It's not the end of the world because we are just basically building up our fleets to counter Scourge more effectively. So, we're going to be building a bunch of ships now, and we're going to be rebuilding them later anyway to update with better technology. We got some armor currently in the cooker. 28 months. 89 months is so long. Let's not do that. Slavery, edict cost, biolab. My god, the cost of technology is just ridiculous. 28 months, shield hit points. We kind of need that. Okay. But we do need to physics research for better plasma weapons. How long would it take? Okay, we're currently rebuilding a section of this mega structure. That's still quite a ways away. I put a bunch of buildings on this planet here just to start to pre-produce everything that's going on here, because it was very much needed. This building, the Gene Clinic, don't build it. Just unless you're really bad in terms of your population growth, etc. Just don't. It's just not that great. Alright, so let's take a look at our species. We can't remove any positive traits because we are not biologically ascendant. I kind of do want to go for it. Colonial assassin. Our governor has been found dead. What? Okay. So one of my leaders is dead. Okay. Is that one of my governors? I also noticed that one of the governors... We actually need to set up the sector settings. No redevelopment, no robots, no colonization. Yeah, that's fine. No redevelopments, no colonization, no robots, and no redevelopments. I don't want them to mess around with any of my tiles. From now on, we're going to be min-maxing every single colony. So, yeah, get ready for that. Wow, that's a lot of research a lot of science that we're just not scooping up as of right now. Our construction is complete. And we need all of that delicious science. Must be a bunch of resources down here, I guess. That's my... Of course, they're exactly the same color, so I can't see jack shit. Which is always unfortunate. Let's bring... Oh, yeah. Let's... Give me that delicious... Give me that delicious science. There we go. All the energy plants are ready for upgrade. I'm holding shift, by the way. Strength from small places. Send it to our homeworld. This should improve energy production, I think.
Our construction is complete.
Yep, energy. We now... It's actually kind of ridiculous. We have so many bonuses to energy production now. Energy production is actually really good. Okay, I guess we're just going to upgrade you. All of these energy... I'm holding shifts, like I mentioned. When I'm clicking on these buildings, that should automatically build them to their maximum level. It's pretty expensive, but... Like, for instance, like this. I'm holding shift. If you look at your minerals... Yeah, that's expensive. So 1600. So we just spent 500 minerals to max out that mineral pile. And that should speed up the process quite a lot. So we're going to be doing that with all of our planets as well. In order to make this this process a little... Hold on. In order to make this process a little bit snappier, we're going to use hotkeys instead of doing manual stuff. Here, let's slow down the process. Again, I'm not too worried about the Scourge itself. Okay, so we're going to hit F5 to quickly go back and forth to see if we're missing anything anywhere. Like here, for instance. And then we can just upgrade all this stuff very quickly and efficiently. So we should be hitting 1,000 minerals relatively soon. Energy production is already really high. At least relatively, considering the year we're in. And that should allow us to build a better industrial backbone to hold off the Scourge. The Scourge right now, they're just messing around with some of these smaller kingdoms that are just not interesting to us. They can do whatever the hell they want. I don't really care about them right now. Don't be too worried about the Scourge if you're on the other side of the galaxy. Take your time. Be sure to slowly but steadily build up your economy and cater your science completely against them. There we go. There's a science lab. There we go. And yeah, exactly. And as you can see, we're already 100 unity points extra, and that should... Here we go. We went from 50 or 60 months to 17 months, so that is very nice. Okay, you are science lab. What are we lacking? Biolabs. So just going through your lists and just hitting F, clicking on a planet, hitting... Oh, hold on, I saw something there. You should not exist. This building, this mineral processing plant, there's no reason for this to be on this planet. There's nothing for it to boost. So we're going to replace that with a mine. And we're going to replace you with a mine. There we go. And that should make this process a bit easier. Yes, I know that one of my leaders has died. Mythal Prime. Nectar of Hope. Akaton Memorial goes first. You are a biolab. Do we need more? See, we have already reduced our food income by almost 300, which is staggering. Absolutely staggering. So, we have a dead leader, which was a statecraft leader. Do we have any statecrafts? No, we do not. So, let's get a bio leader in there anyway. We could build another science ship. And then eventually, once we have enough influence... wait.
Our construction is complete.
Okay, we're going to go down the discovery line and then use our scientists. Okay, we're maxed out on energy. And then we're going to use our scientists to increase both our unity income and our science income. So let's go and talk to the mutagen. If you don't have Leviathans, you won't be able to do this, by the way. And this is why Leviathans is a kind of a weird expansion. Like, everybody's like, oh, giant space aliens. And I'm just like, curators and banking? What an exciting time. But no. That's basically one of the main takeaways from that game. Oh, yeah. Now we're talking Unity production coming out of our proverbial buttholes. That is really nice. Okay, so this species is missing the thrifty. So let's apply a template. Is that the right one? I think it is. Cool. Oh, that's the wrong population. So, apply 145 pops. 18 months. We can use that. So, in 18 months, our energy production should be going up quite significantly. So, there is at least that. So, we'll keep on hitting F5 to get back and forth. Always make sure this is 75%, by the way. We can actually pull a lot of resources from our stockpile right now as well. Here we go. Minerals. Notice how this is costing like 1,000 minerals every single time we do a full upgrade on something. But it just means that we don't have to come back to it later on. Here we go. Yep. That's fine. Okay, we're going to go and fast forward things while I do finalization here on streamlining our economy. And then we're going to start building ships, or at least... try to build ships, because our technology is not really in a place where we would want to. Actually, before we do that, do we have... What is our logo? Let's get a research agreement. You want food? No, they're not interested in food. Okay, so these guys are superior in technology. How about these guys? I really need a research agreement. It's only 7... Yeah, that's the problem with Hiveminds and not really overwhelming technology. Oh my lord. See, this is for 10 years. This is doable. Come on. Okay, how about if I give you minerals, maybe? Oh, this is expensive. How about energy? Balance things out a little bit. The real question is this really worth it? Well, they're superior. They're overwhelming to us. They're a migratory flock, which means they like to go anywhere, really. I just need to balance this out just enough. But no food they want. Okay, so... Ooh. See, this is a superior position we are in. Because their technology is significantly better than ours. And the bonuses we can get out of this will be substantial. So... So, let's take a look here. Yeah, research agreements. So, at the bottom of the list is Garan research agreements, plus 25%. There's another one here. And we don't have one for society. But it's still really important to get those research agreements in. Because, especially because these guys are overwhelming in technology, this will allow us to boost our technological rate quite significantly. So, we're going to go and fast forward here. We'll be right back. Okay, so we are back. We just got a research agreement offer from our friends, the Jogawala Pious Concordat. And if you, something that's interesting, what happens here is they're saying, hey, we'll have a research agreement with you, but you got to give us a lump sum of 10,614 credits. Now, you may be wondering, is this going to be interesting or not? Is this a valuable agreement? Without actually knowing what they have, well, there is actually a way of looking at it. So we know that if we agree to this research agreement, we have about 8 technologies that they don't have. 2 in physics, 5 in society, and 1 in engineering. However, they have 16 in physics, 20 in society, and 25 in engineering. This is a great deal. Let's do it. It's making deals. You know, it's I should run for president. Anyway, okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, so we got a bunch of stuff here that can be done. All right, so let's pause the game for a second. We're gonna need to do some restructuring of our sectors, and because right now these sectors are set up in such a way that they're basically giant blocks. What it does mean is that all these sectors will take all these resources from these planets that they don't have any, from these systems they don't have planets into. So what we're going to do is actually we're going to open up the ledger. Let's just minimize all of this stuff. We don't need it at the moment. Also, with Ring World, it's going to be done soon. So there's 20 planets in this sector. So let's manage this sector, shall we? So it's this one. I'm going to start removing systems that are currently not connected to this sector in any way. And then you may ask, why are you doing this? I'm doing it for all the resources that are available in these on these systems that have stuff in them. Basically, what happens is if a sector owns a system, they will get all the resources in that, and we don't want that as of right now. We want to get as many resources as we can. And of course, this is going to make a lot of these sectors look like a complete and total mess. But we will get the resources out of it, and that's exactly what we want. Okay, so that's one. That's good. So we get those resources. At least I believe that's how that works. Let's take a look at this one. Let's manage this sector. Okay, so yes. Actually, you need to be reconnected. Because if a sector is disconnected from other areas in the sector, it's going to have problems. Ooh, there's primitives on here that we could potentially do something with. Okay, we need that one, we need that one. Okay, and that should pretty much be it. Every single little bit of resources matters, let's put it that way. Okay, so the Scourge have managed to kill their first enemy empire, and there's still this buffer zone between us and them. The thing with the Scourge is they run out of steam relatively quickly. There's a fight going on here. Or at least an attempted fight going on here. Okay. Okay, so our fleet just got upgraded. I wonder how much it got nerfed to the ground. By about 10k, but we got more specific weapons.
Our construction is complete.
And we're just adding battleships en masse right now. Silicone life forms, nice. That should give us a firm amount of additional resources. Good. Oh wow! Oh wow! This system is glorious. Let's build some mining station and research stations here. So that's Urantic crystals, so that's energy weapons, which is what plasmas are, which is going to be very useful. Bunch more energy in there. Okay, that's so nice. We have a science ship not doing anything at the moment. I'll take a look around our empire to see if we have anything that we can have it do. No, there's a bunch of research projects here that I do want to wrap up. You kind of want to do this because the resources you get out of it is just totally worth it. Don't let them lie around for too long because they're, like I said, they're very useful. There's a type 1 over here. I'm not particularly a big fan of the AI building stations everywhere because it does mean a lack of resources. I'm going to do something else, by the way. This may be something you don't know. So there's this button. There is this big old button next to the sector. It says drain sector stockpile. Now the sector does have its own stockpile of resources, and we're currently kind of running low on resources. So we can get 21,000 energy from this sector if we want to, as well as 37,000 minerals, which is a lot. This one is 21k. This one is a little bit less, so that's 18k. Now, okay, that should be enough. 18k. Yeah, let's just drain the resources. And considering the swarm is here, we have a reduction in costs. So let's do it. Actually, no. If we were in a defensive war, then it would be less. But 100 influence with this amount of resources, boop, totally worth it. Okay, so let's trade for some minerals. And now we have a gargantuan amount of minerals available, which we can use to build a gargantuan fleet. Now, I've built battleship assembly yards on this here bad boy, because that means that we can now, let's build a cruiser yard here. Yeah. And once that is done, then we can start cranking out cruisers. Okay, this is a battleship yard, so we want to get more battleships. This is cruisers. Note how I just spent a ridiculous amount of resources. More battleships. Those are the tachyon baseline battleships. Basically, I'm building so many tachyons that the sky looks like a disco ball, which is kind of nice. The real problem is that, oh Jesus Christ, 61 months for a Unity upgrade. That's 20 years. That's 10 years. This is going to take a long time to do discovery. Do we still have the artisans? Yes. No, we do not. All right, we patron of the arts. Okay, cool. So right now we're just waiting. Plasma cannon, type 3. That's the one. And then we want shield capacitors. And then we can basically start making sure that our fleet design is optimized for what we want to do. Okay, so that's all looking good. Notice how I still have not gone to war with the Scourge. I've not engaged with them because at this moment in time, I don't feel that I'm in a good enough space yet. Flak battery, good. Tier 2 flak battery, 52 months because of the research agreement that we have, which is great. So we have 2 research agreements running right now, and that should be enough to get our
construction is complete.
technology up to a decent level. Plus 55 food is decent. All of our planets are a little... Oh, what's that? You should be gone. You...
Found an anomaly.
That's a new world, potentially. Okay, that's all looking good. Something tells me that Have I not maxed out mining network 4? Something tells me that I do not have my... Oh, I do have network 5. Okay. So, we're looking at this world here. It's a barren world, anomaly level. We may be able to do something with this. It's too close to the front lines with the swarm, though. The thing with the swarm is, the more they consume, the more stretched out their lines are going to be. Ah, terraforming candidate. Excellence. But we don't know how big it is, though. That's the problem. Yes. All these resources. Old explorer. Completely useless. Okay, so we've maxed out the amount of stuff that we can research. Do we have our researches? Influence or minerals? I'm going to go for the influence. Because that means that we can pull more resources out of sectors when we need them to. We're almost at our fleet cap. That is a little bit worrying. I've also built observatories in every single station that I could find. It is incredibly good and has buffed our science output decently. I'm just waiting for this here ring segment to come online. That's going to be done in about a year. Once that is... Oh, look at this. Akaton Memorial. You can be maxed out. That is this one. Science. 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 Yeah, this is basically going to be a high-end mineral production. Colossal impact crater. That is biology. Some more biology. Cool. So we can max all this stuff out. Basically get this ring world online as soon as we can. Same with this ring world. Ring worlds in general are really good for a large amount of resource production, which is exactly what we're doing with this one right now.
Our construction is complete.
Found an anomaly. See, the thing is, I could do the following and do infrastructure projects, but it's not retroactive. So I would need to cancel all the buildings that I have and then rebuild them all. Is it maybe worth it? Could be, but it's I am a little bit lazy sometimes. Hey, a planetary shield generator. Let's replace that with a basic science lab. Now note that a lot of this science bonuses are coming from the Curator Insight, which is a plus 15 bonus. Definitely something you want to do. Okay, let's fast forward to a point where I may be able to fight the first set of 77 months, the first set of Scourge, and see how we do. We'll be right back. Okay, I know that was a quick one, but we had a very special Praetorian-related event trigger, which is the New Order. They are basically an alliance of aliens from species that have been destroyed. Let's take a look if we can make contact with them. Empire. They're the Sentinels. So we got the Sentinels over here. I actually have no idea where they are. We can give them a donation of 1,000 energy, and they'll be able to build some more ships out of it. they have finished consuming all Praetorian life, etc., etc. Like I said, we can give them a donation. If we do give them a donation, there's a chance that they will give us ships. So what I actually want to do is just figure out where they are. So they're all... Where are they? Hold on. Where the... Are you over here? No. Yeah. They're down in here. So the Sentinels will proactively send out ships to try to fight the Scourge. Now that they're on the other side of the galaxy, it's a great thing for us because it means that they will start building their ships pretty far away. Also, their ships are amazing. The way they look, etc. Look at that. Isn't that sexy? Actually, I'm quickly going to... let's take a closer look at this, at these ships, because they are actually relatively unique. Like, there's a couple of mods you can download in order to play around with them, but yeah, there's only really one way of getting them in-game, and that is through the Sentinels event. And they look badass, I'm not gonna lie. Look at that. Isn't that sexy? And they are really decent as well. Like, these ones just look straight up weird, but what are you gonna do, right? Yeah, these are great. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna give them energy so they can keep on building these here ships. And then eventually there's a good chance that they will lend us a couple of them, which is going to be very useful to say the least. We are the Sentinels. How are we able to fight back? Give them money, basically. Where are you based? It's over here. Bye. Thank you for coming up. No, I don't want to talk to you right now. So their ships, like their fleets, are not insignificant. Look at that. They just spawned a bunch more. And now they're moving out. They're very similar to some of the other events in the game where during a crisis, another faction will pop up. That is just a mammalian ship. Interesting. But these are all basically based on every single species that is in there. Okay, let's take a look actually at their ship designs. Very heavy designs, spearheads, the usual. Where is their special ships? There they are. Okay, so we can actually not see them because they are so weird that we can't actually know what they look like. So they have their Void Stalkers class. Ooh, and we have a Ringworld section completed. And we're going to go in, anyway, with the Ringworld section. Orbital section. And we're just going to colonize that ASAP. Let's find a good position here. This one seems fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a full-on science bay and basically... Oh my lord, where are they going? Where are they going? Warping, moving to the... Your mom. Your mom? Your dear. Where is this? Okay, so they're going to try to take down the Scourge. We're going to continue playing this for a little while because I want to see how badly they're going to fail. Do they actually... What kind of weapons? They're using warp drive. They're not even using jump drive. Those absolute scrubs. Okay, so this is all doing fairly well. Oh, hello there. That's old science. And us giving them money basically means that they continuously move in their ships to counter the Scourge. Like, this is a tiny fleet. Like, this is literally nothing. Like, it's cute and all, but that's not going to do a dent in the enemy. Let's build some more battleships and we'll show them how it's done later on. Just waiting for them to get into position. Let's just... Oh god, they're on warp wind down. Well, we're gonna go and fast forward this because it's gonna take a while for them to get anywhere. Anyway, that's the Sentinels. Fairly cool event. Sometimes they spawn in the middle of the Scourge and they don't live very long, but still, it's still pretty cool. We'll be right back, and we're gonna fast forward and see if we can do anything about the Scourge and make the first strike. Well, it looks like they finally arrived. It took them long enough. Let's see how these Sentinels do versus... I actually have not really seen them do anything useful ever. As you can see, there's no shield bar for the Scourge, as is usually the case. Let's see if they manage to do anything here. I doubt they will. A decent amount of plasmas. Detected 36 ships coming in. I think that is another... Who knows what that is, really. But I doubt they're going to be making a lot bigger dent versus this here Scourge setup. Meanwhile, our fleet is starting to expand quite significantly. One of our sector dudes has died. That is unfortunate. Let's give you a science one. Yeah, I don't think these guys are going to live very long. Like, valiant attempt, I guess, but, yep, that's what I expected. Well, so much for that, I guess. Anyway, I've managed to claim another world. Considering we are a Hivemind, it means that we do have a lot of flexibility when it comes to pretty much generating whatever we want. We're basically taking the species and they're now a livestock, so we're using it to generate food, which is nice. I will donate for those resources. The thing with the Sentinels, they're a cool idea, but they're effectively just throwing stuff into the grinder. We're about to lose a bunch of fleet power, by the way, as I'll illustrate very shortly. He says, as it increases. 173,000 fleet power. We got 140 battleships, 110 cruisers of various flavor flavs, and we're well over our fleet cap, but our stuff should be able to handle that quite nicely. So the one thing I'm waiting on right now to finish up our fleet designs is the following, and that is flak artillery. Thankfully, due to our research agreement, we have a significant increase in that, and same with shield capacitors. We want to have shield capacitors on our ships because the Praetorians are, once again, like I mentioned, very armor-focused. And from there on, it's just a case of probably leaving the Alliance. Maybe, see, the thing I'm waiting for is for the Alliance to flip to me, which does take every 10 years, sadly, so it's going to take some time. Hegemony. I don't know.
Our construction is complete.
Whatever. Anyway, I don't know where my Alliance fleet is right now. There we go. So who is the next one? Hivemind of Serenity. So in 10 years' time, all the Alliance fleets will follow me. Ooh, that is very unfortunate for my ally over there. He's about to get raffle stomped by the joy that is the Scourge. But whilst that is happening, we can just sit back, relax, and wait for the fireworks to start. So we're going to build some more screens. And we're going to need these pretty badly. Hey, okay, that's my new planet. We're going to need these pretty badly versus the Scourge. So it's going to continuously building more screens as the Scourge has now decided to fly into this area of space to take their worlds. We got one already being occupied. The Scourge works a little bit like this. They'll bomb the planet into submission. And once it hits 0 fortification, as you will see very shortly, they're not bombing. Whoa! That's a lot of... Wow. Okay. So they've basically taken it now, so now we're just waiting for an infestor to come in. Yeah, they will be purge all these pops. Wow. A whole bunch of infestors just spawned. That's crazy town. Okay. So we got shield capacitors, capacitor fields, phase disruptors. For some reason, improved assisting research was never invented here.
A new nest is born.
Okay, so... And then we can tailor this entire thing to the construction of science! Maybe some minerals, but mostly science. It's going to make a pretty big dent on our energy. But So we'll build a couple of energy plants around the Capitol building. Just like this. Actually, I should probably do the infrastructure project edict. And then the rest is all going to be basic science labs, because science is something that we are desperately lacking as of right now. But still, you know, our empire is nicely growing. Got a lot of good stuff going on. And the real goal right now is to get to that point where we can engage the Scourge in battle and save and salvage this game, this playthrough. And hopefully you've learned something in the process. Okay, so this will probably be the last segment of the actual video. Let's put this fleet to the test. So we finally managed to get up to the point where I am comfortable with putting our fleet into action. We got 180,000 fleet power, which we can relatively quickly rebuild, and we're well over our fleet cap as well. So that's a little bit worrying. But the thing here is that as long as you engage the Praetorian Scourge outside of their territory, they will never send their entire fleet to engage you. This means that you can pick off individual fleets in space relatively easily. They're looking to take this world. Let's slow things down a little bit. We're about to engage. So the Tachyons, see there, they're Scourge missiles. Our kinetic batteries are coming in. And we're just waiting for the Tachyons to load. That's 140 Tachyons, by the way. Let's see if the missiles are being intercepted. Yeah, there's a bug currently in the game regarding strike craft. But all of our interceptors are engaging the enemy strike craft, which is exactly what we want. Enemy strike craft should die as soon as possible. And we are at an advantage here, as far as I can see. Let's speed things up a little bit. We're losing a couple destroyers and cruisers, but those are incredibly cheap and easy to replace. We've got strike craft everywhere. So notice these little guys, these are our fighters. They are basically slapping enemy strike craft out of the sky whenever they can. The enemy strike craft should never get close to your capital ships, ever. And that's pretty much the main strength of the Praetorian Scourge, pretty much being knocked out. Sure, their missiles are still going to cause some problems, but their strike craft is the real danger. Sure, we could potentially add bombers to this just to fleshing things out a little bit, but we still got 140 battleships. Cruisers, sure, they're dying, not the fastest, I know, but you know they're already down 60,000 fleet power, and we've not even lost 10. which by itself is not too shabby, to say the least. But yeah, as long as we engage the Scourge outside of their respective territory, flatten their fleets as they are venturing inside of our space or our alliance space, we can slowly but steadily start whittling them down. And once we've killed a bunch of them, we can start jumping in and out of their space, trying to take down their planets, bombing them to the ground, turning them barren. We can always re-engineer them later if we want to, and then take it from there. There you go, 36 remaining. I think we lost maybe 9,000 fleet power. We got fighter craft everywhere. Couple of bombers. And there you have it. We lost 5 cruisers, 49 destroyers, which was totally within the realm of predictability, but we managed to take out a Gestalt swarm. Now, this is kind of the fleet line. This is kind of what you want to have. Like, they did relatively minimal amount of damage. Sure, we lost a lot of destroyers, but we killed one of their entire fleets. Overall, not the biggest loss, especially as long as the battleships can stay on the field with those tachyons, with that fighter support, taking down enemy stuff. We're still looking really good. And now the real challenge begins, and this is also where I'm going to end the episode. The real problem with the Scourge is this war is going to take a long, long time. Jumping onto the enemy whenever you can, making sure you bomb their planets into the ground slowly but steadily. Right now, we're just waiting for the Alliance to flip over to us so we can add the Alliance battle fleet to us, as well as all the rest of the Alliance ships, so to reinforce our fleets even more, and then strike from planet to planet, to bomb them into the ground, make them barren, and then move in towards the next one. This is going to be a long, outstretched war because the Praetorian are very much unstoppable in certain regards, and you want to basically push them back for as long as you can. We're going to wrap things up here. I consider this empire salvaged. Still a long ways to go because, you know, the Scourge are definitely not something to, you know, what's the word I'm looking for here? Help me out here. What? Underestimate. Thank you. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up here. If you enjoyed this, feel free to put a like below. Remember to smash that like button. I really hate saying this, by the way. And if you enjoyed this, well, we're going to try to be back next Sunday. I may not be able to do a next one next Sunday because I will be in Korea. But aside from that, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other.